Hey friends, Peter here. I want to share with you the system. I'm talking the system I've used with a family drawing table to really help new families and their children connect, starting their first time visiting. And then also children who are newer to the congregation, adults with children who maybe aren't as comfortable in coffee hour, to really connect and develop a place in the congregation that helps them feel like they belong. They belong here. So like huge ministry objectives accomplished using this system. Now, first, I am married to a staff person, minister of religious education, my wife. So I'm going to church every Sunday during normal times. And this is kind of like the up until 2020 approach I was using for years. So you need to adapt as appropriate. But a colleague of mine, Robin, asked about this, so I wanted to share this video. So I'd be getting to church early. As soon as I'm on site, I'd set up on our stage, which is in the fellowship hall, 2 tables with chairs and crayons, markers, pencils, paper, some mazes, different skill levels, and coloring pages or activity pages, all different kinds, from just fun things to seasonal. I'd actually collect different books when I'm out in bookstores, etc., as well as others. So we'd have a binder and folders just full of different activities, mazes, like a binder or like file this thick, full of different things. So great to have all these different variety of resources. But here's how it worked. And there's a special drawing game we played, which is critical to the system. So make sure you stay for that. All right. So starting whenever I arrive, tables set up, tables, chairs, all the supplies. Tables are spread a few feet apart, so you have 2 distinct tables. Why 2? Because one of them I would be actively supporting and engaging with children around. And we're in our larger fellowship hall just on the stage, so there are lots of other adults around. Parents are near their kids. It's not drop-off babysitting. It's while you're in that fellowship space, here's something for your children that they can do, and you as well. So what I would do is, once we get closer to the start of the worship service, for us, it was a 10 o'clock service with people arriving, starting 20 minutes beforehand, especially newcomers. So I'd do a couple of laps of our sanctuary before the service started. And if I see new families with children, I'd go up and say, hey, I'm Peter. My wife, Amy, runs our children's program. And then I ask them, names. And then I'd say, hey, so we have a fantastic family drawing table in our coffee hour in the fellowship halls, just on the stage. And I let them know there's mazes, coloring pages, and we do some fun drawing games. And so I just say, that's a great place. So if you want to come and visit the coffee hour, there's a place where you can connect with me, others. I can introduce you to some people, and the children, there's fun for them. So many adults, families who, once the worship service is over, might normally be like, we're out of here. We're not braving coffee hour, because a big bustling coffee hour just is daunting. It's daunting. I mean, this is a larger congregation, but even like I know from my work with congregations, even a small gathering can be awkward, just breaking in, introducing yourself. So really helpful to have a dedicated space where there's something to do, a place to sit, and a focus. So I found that invitation helped many more families actually get to coffee hour. And then what happens when the children come to this table? So we have all these different activities, but what I would do is, at our table, you've got the coloring pages, crayons, markers, all those things. I would use, and I've done this for years, this is something I started doing with my work with children's television as a warm-up exercise before we'd film activity segments for shows like The Curious George Show, Arthur, etc. This is how I get the kids to feel like they know each other, are laughing, having fun, in a creative zone, and ready to go, like ready to do some great fun together. It is an animal drawing challenge. So here's how it works. On my phone, I have an app that's a little spinning wheel. You can customize what's on there. In this image, this is a screenshot of a spinning wheel on a website. If you're on my website, on this page, you'll see the wheel, the links to actually what you can use yourself and customize. If you're looking at this just on YouTube, look in the description of this video. There's a link to a page on my website where you can actually find this wheel. So I have a wheel where you spin the wheel and it has all these different animal names. Dog, cat, elephant, shark, skunk, hippo, etc. Around 20. The way the game works is you spin the wheel twice. Sometimes I would spin it. Other times the kids would spin. I'd say now these days I would spin it for the kids. They get 2 animals. Spin twice, get 2 animals. Their challenge is to draw a combination of the 2. So if you spin, here we have unicorn and second spin shark. What would they have to draw? What would a combination of a unicorn and a shark look like? So this gets kids laughing, using their creativity, and I also happen to be good at drawing. I've been drawing like kind of cartoon fun drawings for years, for 20 years working with kids on children's television. So this is something I've just done for years. So here is my unicorn shark, or is it sharkicorn? Fantastic to actually have the kids come up with a name for what they've drawn. Now, what does this game do? It gets kids interacting with each other. Sometimes I give different kids will, like one kid will get their challenge and then spin the wheel twice for the next child, adults as well. And so I have a table where starting, for like before the service and then during the entire coffee hour, kids of all ages, from 3 up to, young adult, it's really all ages, or parents, adults, elders, everybody doing drawing challenges. They're talking, they're laughing, giggling. If we can get people to be laughing, it's amazing. And so what this game does is it's just gives us something to do. There's always new potential. There's a game aspect because there's this wheel and you spin it, it goes and you don't know which one it's going to land on. The kids are looking. I have kids come into the congregation, little kids run up to me, Peter, can we do the challenge? Week after week. So just making this space where there's mazes, drawing, some activity pages. So kids want to just come, maybe they've been around the congregation a while, but they're in a shy space or they're just in that kind of a quiet mood that morning. They can come now and sit at the table with me and do something, or other adults. Often I have parents talking to me, so I'm usually not there alone. But there's also a second table, which is similar supplies, but I don't staff it. What does this do? A new family with multiple children, they might come and land there and kind of be checking things out, talking to themselves, and then they'll ease over. Or some older children will swoop in from like after they've done something, a coming of age program or a 5th grade class, they'll get out of their class early and that group will descend. So it's kind of like this alternate second space that's just used in different ways. But often people will sit there like newcomers and I'll be like, hey, I'm Peter. Let me know if you guys want to come draw or if you have any questions. And so just my being in that space, facilitating that game, laughing with the kids, they're having fun. We accomplish so many things. People opening up, having fun, doing something together. It's got this focus activity so that we're actually in this comfortable, warm, friendly, joyful, playful space, while at the same time, because I know hospitality, connection, community building, and what it's like for newcomers, I'm trying to get to know them, but without being pushy. And as I get to know them, there's the rest of the congregation in the fellowship hall, so I can say, hey, you want to, can I introduce you to a couple people? I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be great. Or maybe they say no. If they say yes, I'm like, hey, Jack or so-and-so, come here. And just grab people, introduce them. So all this hospitality function. They're having a safe space to land in coffee hour. We're getting to the kids. The kids are actually having fun and excited to be there before the parents. Huge win, huge win. And so, I just know that for the children to have a place that just they know week after week, from the half hour before the service starts through coffee hour, they always know that like there's this place where we're having fun. There are adults who care about me. And we know that it's so important for children growing up in our congregations to feel like adults besides our parents know them and care about them. And so while there are so many adults in the congregation who can do that, just my being there week after week, knowing the kids, as they grow up, for however many years we've been there. So, at this congregation, X number of years, but just there's continuity. So I'm walking through the congregation, and there's so many children now after doing that where they're walking, they're like, hi, Peter, hi, Peter, hi, Peter. And I'm like, hi, hi. Man, I'm working on the names. It's hard. There's so many kids. It's hard for me to know them all, but they feel known. So this is not just a table that you set up and like, oh, there's some crayons and paper. That's it. No, this is like hardcore family ministry, recognizing that we're welcoming new families. We're helping children who sometimes might take one round of that game, spinning the wheel, laughing with me like, what do you call, oh, you got a hippo and a skunk. What do you call that? A skippo or a hippunk? And they start cracking up. See, like using the humor, huge, it just helps people warm up. And like it's hard to be nervous when we're laughing. And so that game is designed to help the kids laugh, which is why I've used it for years in congregations and children's television production on PBS Kids. Now, so we're helping people connect. We're helping them open up over time. Some children, months to get to the point where they like walk into the parents come in with them to the fellowship hall before the service, a half hour before, because they have coffee available, muffins, whatever. At this time they did, and the kid walks up confident. Hey, Peter, you want to do that drawing game? Like, this is a kid who is shy and hadn't said a word for weeks, but then all of a sudden they're like, I got this. Like, I'm comfortable here. I trust Peter. I feel good in this space. I'm opening up. Let's go. So you see the difference between having a family table where you're just like, oh, there's some stuff. If you want to draw, there's stuff for you and the kids, versus here we're holding this space as really an anchor location for children and families and facilitating activities. This game is like magic for all ages. So much that families are using this at home, at different gatherings, holiday celebrations. And you can get any kind of spinning wheel app. There are tons of them on, like just any app store. And then I've got a link on this website, on my page, and in the description of this video, to the one I've set up, and you can customize your own. So it's easy to make a wheel that you spin. And there's just so many objectives it hits. Gamification, curiosity, creativity, fun, low stakes drawing, because like it's just a silly game. And so just consistently having people in that kind of a family space. I'd say if you're looking to implement this strategy in your congregation, if you could take some people who are like, all right, we want to help new families, children, and existing families and their children build community, get to know each other, open up, and feel like this is their spiritual home. If you could have a small team of people who are like, all right, there's going to be 2 of us, or however many you need, every week 2 of us are going to be monitoring this space from half an hour before the service until through coffee hour, or maybe you just do during coffee hour. that can have a huge impact in how new families connect, get integrated into the lives and heart, really welcomed into the lives and heart of your congregation. Children opening up. If there's anything I'd recommend we do in our congregations to support families, as we're able to with different public health measures, etc., is like creating spaces that are connecting, fun, optimized for people to have fun, get to know each other, talk, that are outside of existing core programs, just like anchors in congregational life. So that's it. I will say, because I know a lot of you are doing things outside, and there's different considerations we have. You might not want to be doing a spinny wheel. You might want people to be able to do a printout. So on the page, on my website, I have a little printout that you could use if you want. Colleagues of mine, feel free to reach out if we want to make a customized version of this for you. I can help you out there. And just know that this, with all the drawing activities, the spinny wheel, the hilariousness that comes from making the combinations, and you don't have to be great at drawing. Stick figure animal combinations are hilarious as well. And sometimes that's even funnier. Mazes for people of all age. This is a maze I made. This is someone cranky in the congregation coming and looking for their coffee. And then, of course, that printout. That system can be a huge difference in how new families connect with their congregation. All right, let me know if you have questions, especially if you are Robin, because this one I dedicate to you. And I just wish you all the best with your family ministry this season.